Welcome to another episode of the Driftr podcast with your co-host, Brian Fontenot,
Brandon Boone,
and Kiera Sandoval. Well. Episode 13.
Yes.
I'm glad it's not like Friday the 13th because then I'd be like superstitious.
Right.
Well, on today's episode, we are missing our friend Snack Attack.
Kiera.
She's out there traveling the world. I forgot where she went to this week.
She's in Colombia.
Oh, yeah, Colombia.
Cartagena.
Man. But, dude, when I went out to D.C. this weekend, and Kiera hooked your boy up. We went to the club. We had a good time.
I was hating.
Yeah. I was trying to send you a picture in the club like us. And it was like, the only thing was missing was Brandon. But every time I kept sending it, like, it wouldn't send. And then I tried the next day and still wouldn't send. I'm like, look at God and karma. God didn't want me to send that message to you.
But, yeah, I saw y'all Snapchats, though. I was mad.
Yeah, it was pretty lit, though.
But
bottles on bottles.
Shout out to Kiera, man. Safe travels.
Shout out to Snack Attack. Love you, bud. Love you, bud.
And we also like to send our prayers to Houston. All those survivors out there right now.
Yes.
So definitely want to pray for them.
Definitely do. And we're working on an initiative personally with Brandon and I so that we can be able to give back to those in Houston. We'll post it as a link on this episode on our Driftr Travels website. And if you can, help us out. We're collecting donations. We're collecting monetary donations as well so that we can be able to go out and buy things that are needed for those people in need. It definitely touches home for me because my hometown is under evacuation right now. And both my mother and father are completely surrounded in streets of water and they can't get out. But I've had family members whose homes flooded on the first floor and they had to stay on the second floor for a couple of days. I've had people who've lost cars, lost all kinds of things. So if anybody's out there listening, please go out and help us out. We'll post a link, like I said, to it. And if you can help us with monetary donations to go out and buy things for those in need, we greatly appreciate your partnership in trying to help the city of Houston as they try to get back. It's going to be a long road. It's going to take probably months and months of recovery, but Houston's a strong city. It's made some fighters, so we're going to get back on track, and we're going to do everything we can to help support them. So with that, we're going to get away into the question of the day.
Yes.
So the question of the day is always a segment where we focus on things that you may have a question about and that we take in from our listeners to the podcast. And so for today, the specific question of the day is, what flight aggregation service do you use?
Very good question. I know a lot of people always ask me on what sites I use, and they always surprised when I tell them. Google is my go-to. I always start off my search on Google Flights, and then from there, I may go over to Momondo. I think that's how you say it.
Man, look, I butcher that in a heartbeat, man.
Right. So those are my first two sites. I always compare prices on there, and then sometimes I kayak or what's it, Skyhopper?
Yeah.
So I use those sites, but Google, it's so many features you can use on Google Flights. And I always start my search there. What about you, Brian?
Man, Google Flights has probably been my first thing to go to. I probably go in this order: Google Flights, and then I go to American Express Travel because as the American Express pusher of the podcast team, I love using my American Express points to be able to go out and take off my trips. So I always want to check American Express to see if I can get the flight with my 35% points back using my American Express Business Platinum card. Or if I buy a flight, I also want to check American Express because I get 5x points on American Express on my American Express Platinum card or 3x on my American Express Platinum card. So I'm always looking at American Express to actually book the flight. But I'll probably use Google Flights to find it, or I'll use Momondo as well. I don't really mess with like Expedia, Priceline, and those. A long time ago I used to. But now it's going to be booked through probably one or three portals. It's usually going to be Google Flights, American Express, the Chase portal, for booking flights, or it's going to be specifically on the airline's flight itself if I can transfer points.
Right, yeah.
But remember, we're all about the points and definitely all about the tickets.
Right.
Just this weekend alone, I woke up on Saturday, booked a flight to go to Singapore out the blue.
What? So you holding out?
Well, Steven texted me. He said, "Yo, let's go to Singapore for my birthday." I was just like, "What date? What time?" All right, ticket book.
I'm about to talk to him.
He quoted. He said, "You had to book the ticket." I was like, "Yeah, I booked the ticket. That's our word, bro. That's our word." So he got on that American Express portal. I found it on Google first. Found the flight that I wanted. Then I went on American Express to try to find the same flight, and then boom, booked the ticket.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. 1, 2, 3, book the ticket. I'm sorry saying book the ticket on 3.
I try to stay away from like third party sites like Expedia as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes Momodu would take you through them, but it just depends. But I try to stay away from them.
Man, yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I'm trying to get them points.
Right.
All about the points, y'all.
You already know. Book the ticket.
Book the ticket. But we need to buy booktheticket.com.
Right.
And just go ahead and make that happen. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Cool. Now that we talked about the aggregating services that you need to use for whenever you're buying your flights, we're going to get into the next part of our podcast, which is one of my favorite parts. We talk about cards and points. We're going to break down another credit card for you today that's going to help you to understand the strategy on how you can become better at using credit cards to get points, and you use the points to get free flights. If they're not free, we're going to make sure that they're real cheap for you.
Right.
So for today, what card are we focusing on today, Brandon?
So today we'll be talking about the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. There's a current offer for 50,000 bonus points after you spend 4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months. And this is my go-to card. And then Brian would talk about a little bit about the benefits that the card has.
Man, so the Chase Sapphire Preferred was actually my first Chase credit card. I actually should have gotten the Freedom a long time ago, but I messed up on it, and I never applied for the Freedom. So actually, as much as I like American Express, I actually do like using my Chase Sapphire Preferred card. It's a
pretty
good card.
good card, yeah.
I use it interchangeably between this card and the American Express Premier Rewards Gold card as my everyday spending. So the card itself gets you 2x points on travel and dining. Now, some of y'all may remember from a previous episode, about 2 episodes ago, on episode 11, where we focused on the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. This is the bigger brother of this card, but this was one of the first, we'll say the OG card that everybody got before the Chase Sapphire had a previous Chase Sapphire version. So you get 2x points on travel and dining. So that can be anywhere from airfare to hotels to fine dining to cafes to tickets. So parking tickets that you get.
What?
Not like y'all get parking tickets out there.
Shoot.
But if y'all did, I mean, hypothetically, I would use this card to buy it. But if you're getting gas or if you're getting anything that has related to travel, and I mean, travel, when it comes to Chase, is such a broad category of terms that you can use it for so many things. So I definitely recommend you using this card. Also, with this card, you get 1-to-1 point transfer to all of Chase's partners. You get no foreign transaction fees. So when I travel abroad and they don't take American Express, guess which card I'm going to in my wallet? Definitely this one. You also get 25% more travel redemption on this card whenever you use it. So when you go to the Chase portal and you're using the Chase portal to go out and be able to purchase, different flights and such, you're getting more points for your value. Now, it's the same thing I kind of do with my Chase American Express cards, but if you're going to be on the Chase side, this is definitely one of the cards you want to use. They also got 24/7 access. Now, some of the things it doesn't have that people kind of think about, it doesn't have the airport lounges, so boo to that, but that's why you get the Chase Sapphire Reserve card if you want that. Now, some people who have this card also upgraded to the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, which is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show, but it's definitely another entry path. If you're trying to get the Reserve, you can go through this card first. Between the annual fee for this card is $0 for the first year, then it has a $95 annual fee after that. So overall, I honestly considered this at one time to be a good everyday card because the 2x points in travel and dining you can definitely use. I think the first time I started using this card was when we were in Seattle last year.
When you bought at the bar?
Well, I bought at the bar. Like, I didn't buy at the bar, though. But
the whole bar. Don't let them lie to you.
But your boy was buying like rounds of drinks. And then when I got back home, I realized 2x points at the bar is considered dining. I'm like, hello, I'm buying drinks now. I'm buying people's flights on this card. I'm paying it off. And most importantly, I'm maximizing those points so I can go places.
Easy points.
Easy. So talk to us about the offer for the credit card right now, Brandon.
So once again, the offer for this is 50,000 bonus points after you spend 4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months. And that's what 625 toward travel when redeemed through Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. And like I said in the beginning, this is my go-to card. I don't have the Amex Platinum or the Chase Reserve, so this is my everyday card. I put all my bills on it. All my restaurant, fast food, gas goes on this card. So definitely it's the OG of the Chase cards. I think it's a good start, especially for beginners and also intermediate level travel hackers.
Definitely. So definitely you want to add this card to your arsenal and definitely want to be one of the cards that you're using, especially when it comes to everyday stuff. Definitely love my Chase Sapphire card. Even though people think I push Chase all the time. I mean, push American Express all the time.
Don't hate on Chase. Don't sleep on them.
Look, don't sleep on Chase, though. That's all I got to say. All right. Now that we've been able to take you through all of the different strategy on how to use the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I keep wanting to say reserve card. Now that we've given you the strategy on that, we're going to take a trip. Now, usually, Kara would take us to a wonderful country, hopefully a place that you haven't been to before, but hopefully one that you'll definitely go and get to experience before you go somewhere else. But today, Brandon is going to take us on a trip. And we're going to go to Cambodia.
Yes. So we're going to Cambodia. And before I even start this segment, let me tell you right now that I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of the city.
Because we're going to butcher
some of these temples and stuff I'm not going to try to pronounce because I was raised in Louisiana and I can barely talk. So I'm just going to spell it out for y'all. I'm going to keep it real. So we're going to, it's spelled SIEMREAP, Cambodia. And it is a tourist destination, but a lot of people overlook it. When you think about tourist destinations over there in Asia, you don't come across Cambodia. Some people like have it on later on in their life, but it really is a good city. So there's no direct flights into the REP airport, but flights typically includes a layover in China. And from DC, you can get to there from China Southern, and from New York, you can use China Eastern, Singapore Airlines, or Qatar Air. And be careful for China Eastern airline, because that's kind of...
Ooh, you said China Eastern.
Yeah, China Eastern.
Ooh.
So
I hope China Eastern ain't listening.
Right. But as far as the visa requirements, a visa is required for your travelers. You can buy it at the Cambodia airport for $30, and it requires a passport photo. If visas are good for 30 days, and just make sure your passport is good for at least 6 months before you arrive. And the currency there is the Cambodian riel. I think I said that right.
It's that real. It's that real, yo.
So 1 USD equals 3,959 reals. It's extremely cheap for us Americans to get there. I read about $5 drinks at the Park Hyatt. And the Park Hyatt is an upscale Hyatt brand hotel. And $5 drinks, that sounds awesome. There's several hotels and Airbnb options. A lot of the Airbnb options was under $50 for 2 people. So it's really, really cheap to get there. And so please don't sleep on Cambodia when it comes to places to go and cheap budget travel. As far as transportation, you can use a public bus. It's a good. And another one is a tuk-tuk, which is, if you're familiar with Austin, it's a pedal cab, but instead of a bicycle, it's a motorcycle. So yeah, that'd be very interesting to take. As far as things to do, this part of Cambodia is big on temples. There's top 5 temples you can go to, and the biggest one is Angkor,
top 5.
And that's the largest religious monument in the world. So if you into that history and monuments and religious wise, the Angkor Temple is very popular. Another thing to do is the Killing Fields, which is where 1 million Cambodians were killed during the Khmer Rouge regime. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. Another thing to do is the Angkor Archaeological Park. And another places to go is called the Snooki. It's a set of beaches that are less touristy. After a day at the beach, you can head over to the Otis Market for live music, pop-up bars, and barbecue street food. And there's a lot of markets you can go to, like the Char Market. You can also go to the Cambodian... You can also go to the Made in Cambodia Market, the Angkor Night Market, and the Old Market. A popular street that's in Cambodia is the Pub Street. Pub Street is where every visitor heads in the evening. It's a very popular street. It kind of sounds like it's a Bourbon Street or like a 6th Street in Austin. Has a lot of bars and nightclubs. So it's a very popular street to go to, especially at night. Then you also have the Fair Cambodian Circus Show. It's a very popular show in Cambodia. Then there's a bunch of tours you can go on, like the high air balloon, horseback riding, a foodie tour, zip lining, all your fun stuff. And then as far as food, they have very, very good food. And they also have off the market type foods like sticky rice, which is sticky rice cooked inside a stick of bamboo. And you also have scorpion salad you can try. I'm gonna buy that for you, Brian.
Look, I ain't trying to die.
So Cambodia is a real interesting country. This is a real interesting city, and it's definitely on top of my list now. I love cheap travel. I love food, and they have a lot to do. So there you go.
Man, I just want to be able to say I went to Cambodia, bro.
Right, exactly. Don't sleep on them.
I'm trying to hit this 30 by 30, so that might be part of my last 10 that I need to go see.
It's definitely on my list now. I'm all about the culture and the history.
Yeah, definitely. But be on that side of the world, you can go from so many different countries. So I might make it. 2018 might be the year.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, so we've taken an amazing trip thanks to Brandon to go hit up Cambodia. We've talked about cards and points, specifically on the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, giving you all kinds of strategies on how to use it. And we even covered specifically how we find our aggregators for finding flights and different services. But now we're going to turn it to our open discussion segment. And it's discussion or roundtable that we just have every week that focuses on specifically just questions that are in the community, but just different things that people usually have debates on that are really looking for kind of different guidance and viewpoints on. Well, we're going to take it a little bit differently since that Kira's not here. We're going to go back to kind of the cards and points type of theme, but specifically today's open discussion is going to be on specifically what are the credit card application limits? And what we mean by that is that each different credit card offerer has their own type of limits of how many times you can apply for certain cards or certain cards that you can have. And in fact, over the last week, we're learning some new developments on the Chase side that's going to really shock you. So for today, let's go through specifically, we're going to go through the big three, which is American Express, Chase, and Citi when it comes to application limits. And I'm going to hit it off with American Express. So one of the things that's important to know about American Express is there's two different types of cards American Express has. The first is charge cards. Charge cards are cards that you don't have an interest rate with because you pay the balance at the end of the month. Now, a lot of these come with higher annual fees, but they also come with a lot of benefits. The second cards is a traditional credit card type, which is universal across all the others, which is a revolving credit card, a revolving credit limit credit card. And with those, specifically, you have a certain limit that you can spend over the lifetime of whatever you have the card, and you have to pay. You pay a minimum fee if you want to pay just the minimum fee, or you pay off the balance. But it doesn't necessarily require you to pay the balance off at the end of the month like a charge card. Charge cards don't have a set credit limit because it's based on your spending power, based on you making repetitious payments, based on how much you spend in the month and such like that. So you get a little bit more buying power sometimes with a charge card. I mean, I looked the other day and they said I could have spent $50,000 on my charge card. I was like, what? Dang, brother.
Go ahead.
That's why I have self-control. I ain't bought the chopper yet. Shoot, next thing you know, he's gonna say 100K. I'm gonna be like,
right.
Yo,
hey,
get that A7 audio I want. And be broke. But nah, so when it comes to American Express, the two things that are important to know. With American Express cards, one, you can have as many charge cards as you want. And that includes business and personal as well. So if you want to have 5011 business charge cards, you can do that. Like I have probably 6 charge cards with American Express. But I have multiple businesses, so that's why it makes sense for me to have those. And I use them in different ways. I use also the 3X spending categories and 2X spending categories and 5X spending categories to get those. So American Express ain't never going to tell me no. But when it comes to revolving credit cards and with revolving limits, you can only have a maximum of 4. 4 for the lifetime of having an account. So if you have a business version and a personal version, that both counts as 1, and it counts your total limit as 4. Now, also, another thing that's important to know for American Express, you can apply to 2 cards in any single day, 1 credit card and 1 charge card. But what will happen is if you apply for a third one, more likely you're going to put it on a hold. So when I apply American Express, I try to apply to 4 cards a day. I usually get declined on that 4th one, but the first 3 I usually get.
Right. Okay.
You can also only get approved for about 2 cards in a 90-day period. But basically, I've gotten approved for 3 cards in a 24-hour period. And then I always, for the fourth card, I know I got to wait at least 90 days. And so that was always my thing. I wait 90 days to then go apply for another card. But I also would wait to make sure that I have, I always apply for more charge cards than I do revolving credit cards because I know that limit is 4. And so basically my personal 4 right now is I have the American Express Blue Cash, which I'm actually planning to cancel eventually so I can get the American Express Everyday card and use that as my everyday spending. I have the Starwood Preferred Rewards card on the personal version. I plan to get the business version of that card, and I plan to get one more business version revolving credit card, the American Express Business Blue Plus. So that'll be my 4 revolving cards. But I'll continue to add on American Express charge cards because your boy's trying to get up to getting that black card. So one day I'm going to be podcasting on that black card.
Coming soon.
But yeah, and now the other thing about it also is that the sign-up bonus. If you ever own a sign-up bonus with American Express, it was done for the rest of the lifetime. So if you got a platinum sign-up bonus one time, canceled the card, 2 years later came back, you were never eligible for sign-up bonuses. Well, that's kind of a little bit changed because sometimes the language in the applications that you're applying to changes for American Express. So you may be able to get the bonus before, but I wouldn't count on it. I'd always count on the fact that once you get a bonus for American Express, don't ever expect to cancel that card and get a bonus ever again. So that's just my 2 cents on how you should kind of look at it from an American Express perspective.
But is it different between a personal and a business brands? Like you can get the personal bonus, cancel, and then get the business version of the card and get that bonus?
That's the only stipulation. So yeah,
Okay.
Brandon, you're right about that. If you have for instance, if you got the American Express Platinum card on the personal side, but decide to cancel, get the business version, you still should be able to get the business version because they consider that a whole different card.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, that would be my thing. And so, like I said, I would apply personally for more charge cards because charge cards, you can come and go, get the business version and such like that. Now, what I thought was interesting is, though, I already had a business version platinum card and business version gold card, but they sent me an offer for a business and platinum. For my for-profit, I have, or my other business, I have a business in gold. But then when I have my nonprofit, they sent me an offer for the business and gold card. And they actually gave me the bonus because it was a targeted offer. So if you get targeted offers like that, definitely take them.
Right.
Which is what I'm waiting for one more for Driftr Travels so I can get the charge card for Driftr Travels.
Another one.
Got to use them points, y'all. It's all about them points. Every day, B. Every day. But now that we've talked about American Express, I'm going to let Brandon turn it over to Chase.
So as far as Chase, I don't think there's written language on the number of credit cards you can have at a single time. But of course, they have the 524 rule. So right. So if you open 5 or more credit cards with any issuer, so that's with Amex, Citi, Capital One, any issuer over the previous 24 months, then they will automatically decline you for that card. So you definitely have to be careful with Chase cards. And we've been talking about this pretty much all season about 524.
524s.
So our suggestion would be to always try to go for Chase credit cards first and then move on to Amex. And then I guess this new rule they just came out with that we were discussing in Driftr Travels yesterday.
Breaking news, y'all.
Right.
Breaking
news. So if you
news.
have any Sapphire card, you can no longer have 2 Sapphire cards at the same time. So what that means is if I already have the Sapphire Preferred card, there's no way I can get the Sapphire Reserve unless I upgrade, which is pretty stupid. So the only reason you can have another Sapphire card if you upgrade or downgrade.
And see, I was planning to get the Sapphire Reserve card and keep my Sapphire Preferred card and make it into like my everyday spending card.
Right. But so much for that.
Yep, so much.
So that's pretty much Chase stipulations on credit card limits. But as far as the other cards, as of now, you can have as many credit cards as you want. You just have to be within 524. And you can't have more than 2 Sapphire cards. So for me, I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I have the Chase Slate. I have the Freedom. And I have the 2 Southwest cards. So I'm good, but I can no longer get the Chase Reserve unless I upgrade.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Because of that, I kind of debate, should you even go like on the Chase route sometimes? So like with 524, you can't apply to more than 5 cards in 24 months like Brandon said. But we're part of the travel game. We're out there trying to get it. So that's why I went the American Express route.
Right.
Because I was able to keep adding points. Man, I looked the other day. I've accrued over 1.7 million points in the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
I don't know how many trips I've been on.
Right.
But if I had gone through the Chase route, I wouldn't have been able to apply for that many cards.
Right, exactly.
Because get me wrong, but 524 also counts for the other co-branded cards too.
Yep.
So if you apply for any Chase cards, period, you're going to get caught under that 524.
Pretty
You only
much.
get 5 in 2 years. I probably got like 8 in like
Right.
12, 13
There's
months.
only a few cards that don't count under 524, but
Oh, really?
yeah, but I don't think nobody really.
It's not the ones you want.
Right, yeah. So,
I mean, strategy-wise, you kind of want to look at Chase first, honestly, more than anything, if you're going to apply for credit cards, because that's where it's going to be at. And last but not least, a card that we don't really touch on that much, but eventually one day we're going to get onto these section of cards, is Citi. So you got your top 3 issuers between American Express, Chase, and Citi. And Citi doesn't really limit the number of credit cards you have, but what it does is it uses the same approach to limit your overall credit extending across all of your cards. So you'll get an application pending notice when you hit a certain like threshold limit. So like if you had if they want to give you a total of $10,000, you had one card with 5, and you apply for a third card, then they're going to probably put that on hold. Now the crazy thing is that you can't. They have really specific rules when it comes to Citi on how you can apply for new credit cards, and there's slight difference on the business side and the personal side. You can only apply for one personal card every 8 days, and no more than 2 cards in a 65-day window. You can apply for one business card every 95 days. So when it comes to applying for credit cards, one of the things that we'll talk about is you always want to apply for as many cards at one time as possible with one issuer. When I apply for American Express cards, I'm applying for 3 to 4 cards at one time. If I'm applying for Chase, I'm applying for 3 to 4 cards at one time, because you want to be able to only get one inquiry against your credit, and off a 24-hour period, applying to multiple credit cards at one time only allows you to get one inquiry, which some credit card issuers, they see if you had like 7 inquiries, it looks like you're always pulling your credit like you always need credit. They're just going to cancel you off the jump. It ain't going to be no 524. It ain't going to be those other rules. It's going to be like, dang, why are so many people asking for his credit?
Decline.
So that you always want to apply for multiples in one, which Citi really kind of hurts you on that. So, I mean, if we had to talk about a strategy though, specifically, you definitely want to go Chase, then maybe American Express, and then maybe Citi. And the reason why I say in that order is because with Chase, you have to deal with 524.
Yep.
Once you get to 524 on Chase, American Express doesn't care. And with American Express, you can apply to multiple cards at one time. And then you go round it out with whatever Citi card that you need last, because then that can be your last card. You only apply to 1 or 2 every 6 months. And the thing you got to think about with American Express is that you can apply to multiple cards at one time, get those cards, and it's going to put you further back on 524 if Chase came out with any new cards. With Citi, if you keep applying to one card every couple of months, it's going to make it really hard for you to get off that 524 list. So, like for instance, I have 3 cards dropping off on my 524, so I'll be like at 224 in like 2 months because I applied for all American Express cards at one time. Whereas if I'd spaced them out like I did Citi, like you have to do with Citi, I'd have been forever waiting to get off 524.
Right, you would never get it.
Yeah. Oh, another thing about Citi is that they don't allow you to earn sign-up bonuses multiple times. And so there's a mandatory waiting period between canceling and reapplying for the cards that you must follow. But they usually write that in there. It might be like something like 18 months. So if you have the card and you cancel, it's 18 months before reapplying, which sucks because I never heard that. But hey,
it is what it is.
Credit card issuers, they make their own rules. All we here to do is tell you about strategies and how to get it.
Right.
But yeah.
So let me ask you something real quick, Brian. So you think eventually these companies going to tidy down on like credit card strategies and travel hacking and churning?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, when we talk about these credit card application limits, you can tell what credit card companies have the most to lose when it comes to people that are doing travel hacking or churners. And so to give y'all kind of a definition of what churning is so it can help you understand, churning are people who apply for credit cards, get the sign-up bonus, keep the card for 2 or 3 months, and then cancel and then go apply for another card. Now, some people say this is this is credit suicide because you're always canceling accounts, opening accounts. But there's some people out there who got 800 credit scores off of churning. Don't make sense. But remember, we talked about in the beginning when we talked about Credit 101, it's about longevity. So if you have longer term accounts that you keep open, they help you to be able to take the grunt hits of all these canceled accounts. But back in 2013, churning wasn't a thing that the credit card issuers really kind of had figured out. They kind of saw people doing it, but travel became this really big thing as the internet began to blow up.
Right.
And so they started putting on these limits, like looking at Chase. Chase Sapphire cards is a loss leader. Chase loses so much money every time you use these benefits, such like that. And especially when it comes to millennials. But if they can get you to hold a balance, that's where they make their money. And we always tell you want to pay off your card so that you don't have to spend your money and rewards on paying APRs and interests. So, I mean, they're really cracking down on this. I mean, Chase went from not having 524 to having 524 to now the Sapphire family card specific. You cannot apply to any other family. What they're trying to do is limit the number of churners. Somebody might have the Chase Sapphire card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and they're going to apply for the reserve. They have to give out the bonus to all those times that they had the card. So,
but isn't that something with every company, though? You think they're the only ones losing money or cracking down?
I mean, I think it depends. So with American Express, one of the things to know about American Express is the average transaction size for an American Express card holder is 3 times more to 4 times more than a Visa or a MasterCard. So American Express is able to charge higher fees when it comes to like credit card issuing, but that's why a lot of companies don't take American Express because they're higher. But also at the same time, you're getting people with an average salary that might be six figures, or if you get a Visa and MasterCard, they might be in somewhere in the lower middle class when it comes to statistic wise.
True.
So, I mean, some credit card issuers are okay with it. I think that's why American Express has some lax policies. They don't give a sign-up bonus because they really try to give it to you in value and rewards. Citi is also doesn't have as many transfer partners as other ones. Chase and American Express have more transfer partners that you probably transfer the most, but Citi cards do have some alliances. So I think all credit card issuers have to do with churning, but I think more than anything, Chase kind of put themselves out there with the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. When it came out, I mean, Chase Sapphire Preferred was already a great card. When they came out with the Reserve, I mean, it really made people look at American Express and every other card differently. But also with that came a lot of churners that wanted this card. Because I remember looking in Reddit, looking at these credit card forums, and people were talking about, man, I want to get this card. I want to do this.
Especially with the 100,000 bonus offer. That was crazy.
Man, that was like $2,000 in travel. And then you could get so much more money back if you were using it right. Like, man, like people were winning off of that.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, the 524, the rules about sign-up bonuses, even the period of not being able to apply for cards, like Citi have an 18-month waiting period on some cards.
That's true.
That's all made to stop people from churning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you look at the game of how you're going to use credit cards, I've definitely taken the approach, especially with these credit application limits, is I want to apply for the cards that I can use the best, and I want to wait till I can get the highest points offer before applying. So my previous strategy was to apply for as many cards as I can during like certain blocks of time. Now I've taken the Apparama strategy only when I can get certain targeted offers. So I'm trying to get like 3-4 targeted offers, and then I'm about to go ham on applications. Because then I can make that double, triple up. Like, you definitely want to use Card Match to figure it out, because you got to remember these credit card application limits exist for you not to be able to work the game when it comes to points.
Yep, and you never know when they're going to change it.
Whew.
Like Chase.
Like this Chase thing, man. I was just getting off 524. And what does Chase decide to do? They said, oh, Brian's getting off 524, and he makes a podcast about us. Guess what we about to do? We about to change his life up today. Make this Chase Sapphire rule. I'm just like, man, hold up. So now my only option getting the reserve is to upgrade my preferred card, which means I don't get that 50 or 6,000 point bonus they have right now.
Change the whole game up. So you never know. Get on board while you can. I don't know how much longer we have.
I know this train is for real. I'm like, they coming with all the sluggers.
Right.
Everybody that was talking about Team Chase about to be Team American Express. I'm telling y'all.
I'm on my way.
American Express be treating your boy good. That's how I be traveling the world. Y'all catch me every weekend. On them Amex points, man. I ain't even seen my Chase points in over 2 years. I don't even know if I even have none.
Oh, yeah. I'm on my way, man. Trust me.
Well, everyone out there, we hope you enjoyed another episode of the Driftr Podcast. We covered today specifically on application limits when it comes to credit card issuers and how you can navigate those things to be able to make sure that you can still do the churning and things that you want to do, but most importantly, being able to get the points that you need to be able to travel the world. We took you to an amazing trip to Cambodia, so hopefully you catch us there, or hopefully you just go there.
Sorry, Kiara, for butchering it.
Yeah, be careful. You know we don't know names.
Right.
I barely can say my name right, period.
Come on now.
We also talked about the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, giving you strategies on how you can use this on your everyday spending so that you can use this card to get points. We answer questions about your aggregation of finding flights so that you can find flights for the cheapest price. We hope that you enjoyed the podcast. If you do, make sure to leave a review for us on all the different places you can find us: iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, and you can also catch our episodes on YouTube. But if you can't find us anywhere else, you always know you got a home to go visit when it goes to driftertravels.com. We put all of our podcasts on there. Oh, I forgot about SoundCloud. Acting like I don't respect Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper, you gonna do SoundCloud?
Yeah, SoundCloud be the truth, man. Shout out to SoundCloud. But make sure to leave us reviews on there. Tell the people about the podcast. And join us in the travel community. We want to be able to hear from you. We want to be able to answer any questions you have. I want you to connect with over the thousands of travelers all around the world that we have in our community. It's a vibrant community full of great people. Got to meet them personally. And, they're pretty cute, too. They're some fine people.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all some fine people out there. If y'all hear me on the Driftr team,
go.
Y'all fine. Don't let anybody tell you wrong. Don't let the ex say anything about you. Don't let anybody say you ugly. Don't let anybody go up on your comments on 52 Weeks on Instagram and say you ain't nothing, because I'm here to tell you that I love all y'all guys. And y'all beautiful. Real beautiful.
All right.
Until next time, folks. It's been cool kicking it with you. We miss you. Snack Attack. Have fun out there traveling the world. And we'll catch you next week on the Driftr Podcast. This is one of your co-hosts, Brian Fontenot.
Brandon Boone.
We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Brandon said peace today. Hold on. We can close the episode now. Peace, y'all.